Hi there, welcome to this video on IELTS Writing Task 1 for the GT version, General Training Module. We've had a lot of videos on Writing Task 1 for the academic version. Now this video is based on Writing Task 1 for the General Training Module. Now, do you know what you have to write in Writing Task 1 for the GT? How much time you have, in how many words you have to write? Then is it a completely creative writing wherein you have to put your ideas fully, or will there be any hints for writing? Well, the answer to all of these questions you'll be able to find in this video. So let's start. IELTS GT Writing Task 1 Overview. Now, as you can see on the screen, this is how the question will look like. The first thing that you can see in the prompt is, you should spend about 20 minutes on this task, which means that you have 20 minutes to complete this task. But you have to keep in mind, or you need to understand, that the total time for writing is 1 hour, wherein for which like 20 minutes you can use for task 1 and the remaining 40 minutes you can use for task 2. But it's not the case that at the end of 20 minutes the answer sheet for writing task 1 will be collected. No. Like at the end of the test, that is at the end of 60 minutes, the answer sheet for both writing task 1 and 2 will be collected together. But they have given this estimate or approximate time of 20 minutes to make sure that you should not be using more than 20 minutes for writing task 1, because writing task 2 you have essay writing and you have to invest more time on essay writing. So here the approximate time that you can use for writing task 1 is 20 minutes. Now we move on to the second part. What is given here? You are going to another country to study. You would like to do a part-time job while you're studying, so you want to ask a friend who lives there for some help. Write a letter to this friend. Write a letter to this friend, which means that your writing task 1 is letter writing. You have to do letter writing. And the time that you can use is approximately 20 minutes. Now you can see 3 bullet points here. Now what are they? Give details of your study plans. Explain why you want to get a part-time job. Suggest how your friend could help you find a job. Which means that it's not just the scenario or the context that is given to you, but clues on how to expand or build the letter have also been included in the prompt. So I guess that should be an easy task. Then write at least 150 words, which means that the word count is also specified. And what is the next point given here? You do not need to write any addresses, which means that you need not mention any from address or to address when it comes to writing task 1 for the GT, that is letter writing. You need not include any address. So in a nutshell, what have we understood regarding writing task 1 for the general training module? That is, you have to do a letter writing, and the word count, you have to write it in at least 150 words. Minimum of 150 words should be there. Your letter should have 150 words. And the recommended time is 20 minutes. And for you to develop the letter, the scenario or the context will be given. This is the context. And along with that, this is for the context will actually help you in getting the skeleton of that letter. And to fill in the letter, you have 3 bullet points here, which will help you in expanding the ideas. Now, when you look at this closely, at this context closely, there are 2 aspects which you will be able to identify from this. That is, who the recipient of your letter is. Here, the friend. You are asked to write a letter to your friend. So the recipient is friend, and the reason for writing the letter. What is the purpose for writing the letter is also understood from this part. So from this first section of the question, you get to know the purpose of writing the letter and to whom you are writing the letter, that is the recipient. These 2 ideas, you get it from the first part. Now you might have this question in your mind that always will it be a letter writing to a friend? No, it can be to anyone. So we have to identify to whom we have to write the letter, and accordingly we have to decide the type of the letter. Now, what are the different types of letters that we have? I'll show you. Formal letter. Now, what do you mean by a formal letter? Formal letter is the type of letter which you write to somebody who is in office, like you write to the university requesting for a mark sheet, or you're writing to the local police station to file a complaint, or it can be you are applying for a job in a specific company, so you're writing a letter to the HR there. All these are formal letters wherein you're writing to somebody who's in office and you don't know that person personally. That is what we call, that type of letter is called as formal letter. You can get such letters in your writing task 1, letter writing for GT. Then you also have informal letters. You may also get informal letters. Informal letters, as the name indicates, it's written to somebody who's very close. That it can be a family member, father, mother, siblings, and so on. Or it can be a friend, somebody whom you know very closely. So such kind of letters are called informal letters. Then there is yet another type, formal, informal, then semi-formal. Now semi-formal, as the name indicates, it's more of a formal kind of letter, but it's not completely formal, wherein you're writing this letter to somebody who is in power, but you might be knowing that person, but that person cannot be considered as a very close family member or friend. For instance, you're asked to write letter to a course provider or a class teacher, or maybe landlord, your house owner. You know that person personally, but the thing is that they're not very close, just like a family or a friend. So such kind of letters fall into this category of semi-formal letters. So these are the 3 basic types of letters that you get. One of these you get in your letter writing. It can be a formal letter, an informal letter, or a semi-formal letter. So the first task that you have to do as part of letter writing is you need to identify the type of letter, what type of letter it is. And how you can identify that? From the initial part, like how I've shown here, from this initial part of the question, you have the background details. There it will be mentioned, write a letter to this friend, or write a letter to the landlord, or write a letter to the local police station. So depending on who the recipient is, you can decide what type of letter it is. I hope that's clear. After identifying the type of the letter, the next thing that we need to identify is to get the purpose of the letter. That also you'll be able to understand from the first part of the letter. For what reason are we writing the letter? The main idea or the purpose or the reason behind writing the letter. It can be, the reasons can be actually categorized into these groups as you can see on the screen. It can be for thanking somebody, expressing the gratitude for love or favor somebody has done to you. So it can be thanking somebody, or it can be an apology, like maybe for a mistake that you have made, or you have missed a commitment, or some inconvenience caused by you to some other person. So it's a kind of apology. It can be, the purpose of the letter can be apologizing. Then it can be for applying a job application, or it can be a complaint, expressing your dissatisfaction regarding something. So the letter type can be a complaint type of letter, or it can be suggestion, like wherein you're offering ideas or recommendations to improve on something. So the type of or the purpose of the letter can be suggestion. Then it can be request. You're asking someone to do something for you, asking for a favor. So these are some of the categories regarding the purpose or the reason for writing the letter. This is the next aspect that you have to identify when you get your letter writing. So far what we have discussed is, we have understood in the letter, for the letter writing, the scenario or the context will be given to you, which will tell you to whom you have to write the letter and what is the reason for writing the letter. Depending on to whom you have to write the letter, you categorize it as whether it is a formal, semi-formal, or informal letter. And depending on the purpose, you can categorize it as whether it is for whether it is a request or suggestion, complaint, apology, thanks, whatever it is. So these are the first 2 steps that you need to identify: the type of the letter and then the purpose of the letter. Now let's do a small activity. I'll show you a few scenarios or prompts that might appear for your letter writing task, and let's see whether we are able to identify the type of the letter and the purpose of the letter. Let's look at the first one. You're studying a short course in another country. Your accommodation is arranged by the course provider. There is a major problem with the accommodation. Write a letter to the course provider. Write a letter to the course providers. So the recipient is the course provider. So course provider is somebody who is in power, but it is your course provider. So definitely that person is familiar to you. So this will be a semi-formal letter. And what is the purpose? There is a major problem with the accommodation. So you are going to talk about that problem. So it's a complaint. So this is a complaint. Now the second one, you have seen an advertisement in an English newspaper for a job working in the city museum shop during the holidays. You decided to apply for the job. Write a letter to the director of the museum. Director of the museum means somebody who is in power and it's totally unfamiliar to you. So this is a formal letter, and the type or the purpose, you've decided to apply for the job, which means this is a job application. Now the third one, a member of the family is coming to stay with you. He or she arrives by train the next morning, but you won't be at home until the evening. Write a letter to your relative. So relative, again, family members. So this will be an informal letter. This will be an informal letter. And what is the purpose? You won't be at home until evening. So actually, this will be a kind of apology. Your relative is coming to see you, but you won't be there at home. So it's a kind of apology. You're apologizing for the inconvenience caused. Then let's see a few more. Your neighbor has a dog that is noisy at night. You can't sleep. Write a letter to your neighbor. Neighbor again falls into the category of semi-formal, which means that you know that person, but not very close like a family member or a friend. So the type of letter here is semi-formal. And what is the nature or what is the purpose? You can't sleep. So it's a kind of complaint. You're just stating or reporting an inconvenience that is caused to you. So this is a complaint. Then the fifth one, you're not happy with the course you're doing at college and you would like to change to a different course. Write a letter to the college director requesting to change your course. College director, so the reader is the college director, the recipient is college director. So somebody who is in power, but you know that person, your college director. So again, this is a semi-formal letter. It's not totally a strange person. Somebody who is in power, but at the same time, being your own college director, you know that person. So this falls into the category of semi-formal letter. And the purpose, you are requesting to change your course. So this is a kind of request. Now, the last one, you have recently ordered an item through the internet, but you're not happy with the purchase. Write to the company. Write to the company. So you're totally unaware of the person to whom you're going to write the letter. So this is going to be a formal letter and you're not happy with the purchase. So again, this is a complaint. Now, the parts which you have seen now here are just the initial portion of the question, which tells about the background. So from there, we were able to identify what type of letter it is and what is the purpose, the main purpose of writing the letter. Now, further to this, we will be having the bullet points to expand the ideas. So the first task when it comes to letter writing is that you have to identify the type and the purpose. I hope that's clear by now. Now, let us look at the different parts of a letter. Formal, informal, semi-formal. Regardless of the type of the letter, all the letter types have the same structure. The structure is same across the different types. Now, what is the structure? The first part is the salutation, where we write dear somebody, dear sir, or dear, if you're writing to a friend, that friend's name, that is what is called as salutation. Then you have the purpose of the letter or greetings. I'll show you examples on what greetings is. Just saying hi, how are you, or just stating the reason for writing the letter. Then you have body 1, body 2, body 3, which are based on the 3 bullet points which you see in the question paper. Then the concluding remarks, just a closing to that letter. Then the closing salutation and name. Closing salutation, wherein you write yours sincerely or yours lovingly, faithfully, all those comes under salutation. Now, here I said that whether it is formal, informal or semi-formal letter, the structure remains the same. Then what is the difference? The difference lies in the tone of the letter and the vocab. I would say the tone and vocab are not same across the different types. Tone. Now, when I say the tone and vocab or the kind of words used are different, how is it different? I'll show you examples. So this is the basic difference between formal, informal and semi-formal letter. The structure remains the same. The tone, the way in which you present the sentence, the words that you use to build the sentence will not be same across the different types. There will be slight differences between the different letter types. I'll just show you. Now, the parts of the letter, formal, informal, semi-formal letter. When it comes to salutation, if it's a formal letter, we write dear sir, or if you assume that our recipient is a female, you can also write it as dear madam. That is up to you. Then informal letter, if you're writing to a family member or if you're writing to a friend, you can specify that person's name. You can assume a name and you can directly mention that person's name here, dear Sam. Now just see, when it is semi-formal letter, there also you don't have to show too much of respect by calling sir or madam. You are using the name, but you have to mention the title as well, dear Mr. John. So just see the difference. Here you're not mentioning the name at all when it's a formal letter. When it comes to informal letter, you are using the name, and it's semi-formal letter, you're using the name, but you have to include the title as well. That is with salutation. Now moving on to the purpose or greetings part. If it's a formal letter, you open it in ways like this. This letter is to express my, or this letter is to bring to your attention. This is how you start. Now just look at the informal version or the informal format. It's been a long time since we met, or you can say, what's up with your family? Hope you're doing great. Just a very casual way. And you see contractions have been used. It's been a long time. What's up? So it's a very casual kind of sentence construction wherein you'll be using contractions. But if it's a formal version, you're not saying that I'm writing or hi, how are you, no such greetings. Straight away, you're getting into the matter. That is, this letter is to express my, or this letter is to bring to your attention, or this letter is to request. You'll be directly getting into the matter. But here, when it comes to informal letter, you start off with your greetings, asking, hi, how are you? And when it moves to semi-formal type, I would like to inform you regarding. Okay, here also you don't greet, but you directly get into the matter, but it's not as formal as a purely formal letter. It's not as formal as a formal version. Slight difference. Okay, I would like to inform you regarding. Instead of saying that this is to inform you regarding something, when it comes to semi-formal, we put it as I would like to inform you regarding. Just slight variation. That is regarding the purpose or greeting. The second part, after the salutation, you have the purpose or greetings. Then you move on to the 3 body paragraphs, body 1, body 2, body 3, which are completely based on the 3 bullet points which is given in the question paper. Using these 3 bullet points, you expand the ideas and place it in these 3 body paragraphs, 1, 2 and 3. Then regarding the concluding remarks, finally, how do you end that letter? If it's formal letter, you can go for sentences like looking forward to meeting you soon, or looking forward to a favorable response. Now, if it's an informal version, how is it? Ring me up soon. Convey my regards to your family. See you soon. See, just like how we say to our friend or a family member casually, you can construct the sentences. But if it's a formal letter, you would be using more, the kind of words that you use would be more formal, looking forward to meeting you soon. We don't say to a friend in that way. We say that hope to see you soon. But in a formal version, you should be constructing sentences like this. And semi-formal, it's not that too much different from the formal version. I hope something is done about this before too long, or kindly make sure the required service is done, or something like that. So what you need to understand is that when it comes to formal and semi-formal, you maintain that respectful and polite kind of tone when you write the sentences. And passive sentence constructions are used. For instance, if you look at this concluding remark, looking forward to meeting you soon. So you have not mentioned, I am looking forward, no. But when you look at the semi-formal version, how is it mentioned? I hope something is done about this. Now, what you need to understand is that when it comes to formal letter type, you'll be using more of a passive kind of sentence construction, wherein you give more importance to the action than to yourself, than the doer. But when it comes to informal or semi-formal, you can write it in the active form. That is, you can give importance to yourself. That is, I hope to see you soon, or I hope you will be looking into the matter. That is fine. But when it comes to formal letter, it will be better, or the kind of sentence construction would be the passive voice. So that is the difference, that the tone and the way in which you construct the sentence and the vocabulary, the kind of words that you use when it comes to formal letter would be slightly different. Other than that, the structure remains the same across formal, semi-formal and informal letter. The aspects that you need to focus on are the tone and the vocabulary and the way in which you construct the sentences. Now, to make it more clear, let's do the comparison with an example. Now, you can see a question or a prompt on the screen for a letter writing. In fact, you can see two. The first one, you are preparing a countryside event for your parents' anniversary. Write a letter to your friend. Okay, so this is an informal letter asking for help with the arrangements. Asking for help with the arrangements, which means that this is a request. Now let's look this one. Your company is organizing a staff retreat in the countryside. Write a letter to an event management company. Write a letter to the event management company, which means that this is a formal letter. Here, since you were writing to your friend, this is an informal letter. Now this write to an event management company, so it's a formal letter requesting their service. So again, the reason for writing the letter is the same here, request. In both these, the reason for writing or the purpose is request. One is informal and the other one is formal. The situation is more or less the same regarding organizing an event. Now let's go through the bullet points. The first one says that explain what the event is and why you're holding it. Same here, describe the event and its purpose. It's same. Then the second bullet point says that describe what has already been arranged, what has been done from your end. Here the bullet point says that explain what arrangements need to be made. So you're asking the event management companies that what arrangements should be made. Then the third bullet point says ask how your friend can help. Ask how the friend can help regarding this event management. And in this formal type, what is the third bullet point? Ask for their suggestion and service proposal. You're asking suggestions regarding the organizing from the event management company. I hope the two questions are clear. It's more or less the same, slight differences with the bullet points. Now let's see how we are going to build the letter part by part or paragraph by paragraph for both this formal type and the informal type. Let's look at the informal version. Okay, the opening salutation, Dear Rachel. Now, in the formal version, we have mentioned it as Dear Sir Rachel, a name that you're just assuming of your friend's name as Rachel. That is the opening salutation. Then regarding the greetings or the purpose, how has it been constructed for the informal version? Hope you're doing fine. Hope you're doing well. I wanted to let you know I'm planning a little celebration out in the countryside next month, and I would really love your help with some of the arrangements. You notice the language there? You have used contractions here, and see, I would really love your help. It's a very casual tone there. Okay, now let's compare it with the formal version. The request that is needed is same in both the cases, that you have to keep in mind. But now let's see the tone and the kind of words used when it is a formal type. This letter is to inquire about your company's event management services. See, you have not used the active voice there. You've not written that I'm writing to inquire about your company's. No, but you have used a passive voice. This letter is to inquire about your company's event management service. We are planning a staff retreat in the countryside on June 15th and would like to explore how your team can assist. How your team can explore. See, here how did we write? I would really love your help. Here, how is it written? I would like to explore how your team can assist us. Did you notice the difference in the kind of words? That is what I meant by the difference lies in the vocab, the kind of words that are used, and also the tone. I hope the opening salutation and the purpose paragraph for the greetings, the comparison is clear. Now let's move on to the body paragraphs. The 3 body paragraphs which are built by extending the ideas given in the 3 bullet points in the question. The first paragraph, what the event is, which was asked to describe the event. How is it said? It's a small event to mark my parents' wedding anniversary with just close family and a few friends. So, a normal sentence. Then in the formal version, it's been mentioned the event will include a formal lunch, team building exercise, and a short award ceremony. So that is in both. They are giving an idea on what the event is all about. But here also the tone is different. The kind of words used are different. One is more formal. Then we're moving on to the next body paragraph. Here it says what you've already done. And in the formal, it was asked what needs to be done. So let's look at it in the informal version. I've already booked the cottage and sorted out the catering, but I could use your creative eye for decorating the place and organizing a few activities to keep things lively. Now, formal, we are looking for support with catering, transport, venue decoration, and technical equipment such as sound and lighting. You're straight away telling what is needed or what is expected out of the recipient. Okay, now let's look at the second body paragraph. When it comes to the informal version, in the second bullet point was mentioning what kind of arrangements were already done by you, and in the formal version it was asked to request for the kind of services you're looking forward from the recipient. So let's look at the paragraph. Here it says, I've already booked the cottage and sorted out the catering, but I could use your creative eye for decorating the place and organizing a few activities to keep things lively. Normal, a casual sentence construction. Now let's look at the formal version. We are looking for support with catering, transport, venue decoration, and technical equipment such as sound and lighting. Being very precise in telling what you're expected out of the recipient. Then the third body paragraph. In the third body paragraph, in the informal version, you wanted your friend to come up with any suggestions or what kind of help your friend can offer. And in the formal version, the third bullet point was asking for the kind of support services that can be offered by the event management company. So here the informal version, the third body paragraph says, would you be able to come down a couple of days early to help me to get everything done? See, in a very casual tone, it's been asked. Would you be able to come down a couple of days to help me get everything done? Just like how you talk with a friend. And it would mean a lot. And of course, it'll be a great excuse for us to catch up properly. See how lightly does it sound? Now the formal version. We would also be grateful if you could provide a proposal outlining your recommended services and estimated costs. Please let us know your availability and whether a preliminary meeting can be arranged. I've shown this paragraph wise because so that you can notice the difference in the kind of words, the vocabulary when it comes to the choice of words. It's not the same for both, even though the scenario, the context are more or less the same. The kind of words that have been used to build the sentences are not the same, and the tone is also not the same. So just paragraph by paragraph, you can do a comparison on the tone and the vocab. Now that we have analyzed the body paragraphs, let's see how the concluding remarks are and how the closing salutation is. In the informal version, you can just say that, let me know if you're free. Directly telling, if you're free, just let me know about it. But in the formal, how it has been constructed, we look forward to hearing from you. Here, straightly, it has been said that, let me know if you're free, but here it's been mentioned, we look forward to hearing from you. Then the closing salutation, take care, and you have mentioned your name. But when it comes to formal version, yours faithfully, you have mentioned yours faithfully, Olivia Bennett, you have mentioned the full name. That's how it goes. So I hope by now you've got an overall picture regarding what you have to do when it comes to writing task 1 of the general training model. You have to do a letter writing in about 150 words, at least 150 words, and the letter type can be formal, informal, or semi-formal. And the context for writing the letter will be provided to you, and the ideas based on which you have to build the letter, elaborate the ideas, will be given as bullet points, and you can use these cues to develop the 3 body paragraphs. And the structure for all of these 3 types of letters, whether it be formal, informal, or semi-formal, it's the same. The difference lies in the tone of the letter and the vocab used in developing the sentences. So I hope this video was helpful. Stay tuned and we'll be back with more such videos. Thank you.
Medcity International Academy. Trusted hands forever.